let's talk about one of your two senators over there in California, Dianne Feinstein, who I feel like the calls for her to resign because of well-documented in a like cognitive mental decline from her colleagues speaking anonymously to the media, to anecdotes that you hear just when you speak to people behind the scenes, to everything that's been said publicly. She's now missed dozens of days as the second most important Democrat on the Judiciary Committee. And we were seeing this with respect to abortion. The effort of the Biden administration to ensure that as many federal judges are confirmed under this now going to be 4 years, unless someone dies, of a Democratic Senate for the rest of his term. Like, this is an existential Democratic threat, getting all of these the right-wing takeover of the courts. So getting these judges through is incredibly important, and she's just been gone, holding up the entire process. Now, thankfully, she's going to allow them to replace her on the Judiciary Committee, which sets up a fight with the Republicans because they could filibuster it. If any of them objects to unanimous consent, which I would imagine that they will because they're Republicans. But I mean, what's in California the general lay of the land about Dianne Feinstein and how people are feeling about her?
Well, as a California resident, I love that I'm represented by a 900-year-old person who is definitely has dementia, who needs to wear adult diapers, who yelled at like a bunch of kindergartners when they were like, "Hey, can you not leave behind a planet that is like a dystopian hellscape for us? Can you do something about climate change? We're scared." And she was like, "You can't even vote for me, bitch. Shut the fuck up." Remember when Dianne Feinstein did that? I remember, because I thought that was girl bossing. That's right. I love girl bosses. I love girl bosses who are older. I love girl bosses who are demented. I think that, the American government needs more representation from fossil fuels. Not just the fossil fuel sector, but also directly like someone who was there when the sliced bread was invented, someone who was there when the chocolate chip was invented, someone who definitely represents the interests of Californians, which is a deep blue state, supposedly. It's great.
Yeah. Well, here's this tweet. Speaking of some of the blue representatives in California, this is Representative Norma Torres. She says, "Dear Senator Feinstein, please get well soon." That's, I don't know. I mean, look, she's in the hospital for shingles, but the whole dementia thing, that's not going to get better. Okay. When women age or get sick, the men, like Hasan Piker, are quick to push them aside. When women
I defended her, as you know.
No, I mean, but you are a man, so you're included in this. When men age or get sick, they get a promotion. Women's rights are human rights. This is also the line that Pelosi took, saying that I don't think this would be happening to a man. I mean, like,
women's rights are human rights.
Yes. A good example of this is, like, I would love if Chuck Grassley would resign, another very senior member of the Senate who like tweets a bunch of typos about like there's pigeons in my lawn and all caps stuff that you think he's like trying to write to 911 over text, and he just ended up putting it out on Twitter.
I was watching the History Channel.
Yeah, just random. It was pretty good, Chuck Grassley. Random garbage like that. Both of them can go, and then that nullifies what they're saying there. That's my suggestion.
Yeah, it's just weird because like we kind of made Breyer retire, which was a good idea, right?
Yes.
So like, that's a guy, you know what I mean? That doesn't really make sense on that.
Well, they said the same thing when we wanted Ruth Bader Ginsburg to retire before, during the end of Obama's term. And then look what happened.
Yeah, what happened was girl bossing. That's what happened. I think it's great that there's a young supermajority of like psychotic freaks that were all directly concocted in a laboratory known as the Federalist Society that now will make these decisions that will eradicate civil liberties for marginalized groups in this country. I think that's great. I'm glad that that is Ruth Bader Ginsburg's legacy. She deserves it. It's her time, and it was her time. And I personally thought it was awesome when, in the middle of COVID, this person who had cancer 11 fucking times decided to go and officiate a wedding in the middle of COVID without a fucking mask when she had cancer 11 times and was like also 800 years old. It just showed that, you know, women can do everything. Women can do anything if they want to. If they want to destroy the crumbs, a semblance of like what remains of American democracy, which was always in theory to begin with. If you want to eviscerate that remaining shred, you should be able to do so. That's girl bossing. I think
that's what
that's great.
Yeah, I got that. That's why I got into this business, so I could girl boss and ensure that the trans agenda takes over, and that within 10 short years, every child is trans or non-binary. I mean, I know we don't say that out loud, but we do say it in our group chat privately. So, I mean,
all the time.
Yeah, that is our goal, and I'm trying to bring about the destruction of the American family, and the only way I know how to do that is in a power pantsuit. So you guys will be seeing me dressed
and private property also, right, Emma?
That's true.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of private property.
I think that that's why I am in favor of the gerontocracy that we have. I think that's great. You know, it's awesome. Yeah, I mean, Gavin Newsom also said like the classic, Joe Biden line where he was like, "We're gonna put a black woman in this position. Like, we're gonna, I'm gonna appoint a black woman in her stead." And it's just like, why do you have to say that? Like, don't say that. You're undermining. Just do it. Just say you're pointing to the most qualified person to be in this position. When you say you're gonna do it, you're gonna appoint a black woman there. You're literally undercutting that black person's accomplishments.
Right.
Like it's like such transparent pandering too. It's so silly. It's like when leaders in the Democratic Party, unfortunately, I can't believe Gavin Newsom is one of them, openly take on the memes that the right claims about them and just they own it.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Well,
it's so odd.
Hasan, thank you so much for coming on, my friend. Really appreciate it. Any last words before we let you go?
No, thank you for having me. I love the Majority Report, and it's unfortunate that my real uncle Sam Seder was not on today, but Emma, you're doing a great job.
Okay, all right. Well then, I guess that means, what is it? We're cousins?
Yeah, I think so.
I
don't know. I don't know how that works.
It's a complicated family tree, but next time he'll be back. Appreciate it, Hasan. Talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Hey, folks. One of the biggest challenges we have in today's media world is, how do I become an educated media consumer? And for me, what helps me understand what's happening with stories out there and how it's being reported, I use Ground News. What it does is it breaks down how a story is being covered, both on ideological lines, left, center, right, and in terms of corporate, non-corporate media. It's all there, very transparent. It gives you the opportunity to look at how a story is being covered internationally by neighboring countries or countries around the globe. It also has this feature called blind spots, where you can see if there's a story that is being covered more by the left or the right. You can start to see how media narratives are built. It's a fascinating site. It's a really helpful tool to educate yourself on media. Ground.news/majority. Try it for yourself. It's going to enhance both your understanding of the news today and long term. It's going to build your ability to be a better media consumer. Check it out. Ground.news/majority.